And you are listening to Serving Up the D. It's hate week. Gary, what's going on, buddy?
It is hate week. It doesn't really feel like it.
No, it doesn't. It has a different feeling where it doesn't feel like we hate each other. Well, like the fans still do. It doesn't feel like these teams hate each other yet. It's like a weird middle ground right now.
It's two coaches new to the game. So Smith himself said he had to educate himself and the 61 new players on the team that haven't played in this rivalry before. To what it was. I'm sure he's leaning hard on Demetrius Martin and Courtney Hawkins, who both played in it. So, the other thing, for the first time since 2008, neither team is ranked. They both kind of suck balls right now.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest key here is that there's a lot of changeover. A lot of these guys don't even know. A lot of them probably don't even know each other. I mean, there's the guys from Michigan or whatever, but there isn't anything built up yet. What we need is somebody to say something, preferably on their side. Like just throw out a little bro. Just something to heat this thing up, to get some butter in the frying pan before we cook on Saturday. Throw a mic in front of the Don.
Throw a mic in front of the Don. He's good for something stupid.
Yeah, like just something has to happen because it just doesn't seem to have that sizzle that we've had over the last decade plus, where both teams aren't great this year. We get it, but there's just not that.
And both coaches are pretty dry. I mean, pretty milquetoast boring to a degree. I wasn't going to go there. I wasn't going to bomb Sharon just yet. That's coming later. But no, it's that plus. I mean, Jonathan Smith. Like I said to you before, he's all steak, no sizzle. I mean,
I get it.
I wish he was more of a red ass. He's all about ball.
It's like the uniforms and the helmets. He said they will come back, but they're not coming back this year apparently, because he's wants to build it.
Yeah, I get that. They got to earn it.
So they're not going to have any of their none of the cool stuff. The cool stuff is supposedly coming back next year. So we're not going to get the cool gruff helmet, which I fucking love.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, see, we're not getting that stuff. Apparently, we're not getting that stuff this year, that he's trying to build a culture that is away from what it was. But it will come back, apparently. This is... So, I don't know.
And
he's very bland.
Part of the lack of excitement for this game is that kind of two teams going in an opposite direction, too, at this point.
Yeah, one's...
Michigan State coming off their best... Michigan State coming off their most complete performance of the year against Iowa for homecoming last week, and Michigan laying a total egg at Illinois.
Yeah,
I mean, here we are
they don't have a quarterback.
I was just going to say, here we are in week 9, and they don't know who their quarterback's going to be for this game.
And again, that goes back to he needed to figure it out. And he had all offseason to figure it out, and he didn't do it. So,
let's be real. I mean, for one thing, it's really hard to beat teams in the Big Ten when you don't know their plays.
Well, yeah, that too. I mean, there's that. And when your head coach literally takes every single thing with him to the NFL and except one guy. One guy was left behind who doesn't have a contract, who's just left behind to fall on the sword.
You mean the fall guy that's going to fall? Yeah. Exactly what I was going to say.
He's Operation Turkeys from South Park. They just want to throw him under the bus. He's gonna feel heavy losses.
That's not political. That's not very.
He's gonna feel heavy losses like on South Park. That's what he is to Michigan, though. It's honestly, that's what he is. It might not sound nice, but that's literally what they have him lined up to be, which is awful. But that's what he's lined up to be. They're literally strapping him to the side of a tank, saying, "You're the human shield."
Well, then they announce
the shrapnel, Sharon. That's you, buddy.
Will Johnson's questionable.
Will Johnson's going to the draft.
To ever play at Michigan again.
He's gone. He's going to the draft.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. When does Will Johnson, Colston Loveland, Mason Graham, and Kenneth Grant all shut it down?
If they lose this weekend, they're 100%. That's when they're all shutting it down. If they lose this weekend, it's completely off the rails. They're done. It's all Harbaugh literally burnt it to the ground when he left the building. If they lose to us this weekend, they will have a firestorm over there. Oh, yeah, it won't be sunshine and rainbows. Indiana. Santa knows. He'll be going, oh no. What do I do?
Well, yeah, they're not beating
Jim ain't coming through the door, Indiana. Buddy.
They're not beating Indiana. They're not beating Oregon. They're not beating Ohio State.
No.
Period. They lose to us. Game. No, they lose to us. They're staring at 5-7. Yeah.
And that's like you go from national champion.
And that's if they beat Northwestern.
Well, I mean,
at what point
they could probably just line up and run the ball every play and beat Northwestern.
Can they?
I think so. It's Northwestern.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not going to put any eggs in the Northwestern.
I got a serious question for you. At what point, with the notice of allegations looming right around Ohio State week, does Michigan just fall on the sword and say, okay, we'll accept whatever sanctions you're going to give us for this year?
We're going to postseason ban ourselves this year. They're such cocks. They are such cocks.
Since we're not going to make it.
They will do that. That's exactly what they're going to do because they're such cocks. They're going to wait until they can't get 6 wins and they're going to go, fuck it. We'll take a postseason ban because we can't make the postseason.
Exactly.
Fucking assholes. And then act like
How on brand.
And then they'll act like they fucking did the greatest thing ever. We are so brave that we took it. We didn't wait for the NCAA to hit us.
We didn't deserve it, but we fell on the sword.
What we did, which is nothing, but we will take a punishment, which is nothing. They're such a-holes.
How can you say they did nothing? They're so bad this year.
Such a-holes.
They're so bad this year.
Well, I get it. And they're bad because they lost a lot of their good players. I have no issue saying that. Sure, I think that for 100% they had an advantage with Stallions and the bullshit cheating. But they also did lose a lot of their top-notch talent, especially on offense.
Not on defense, though. They
especially
brought a
on
lot
offense.
back on that defense.
On offense,
they brought
lost.
A lot back on that defense.
When you lose your quarterback and you don't replace them at all with anybody who can even throw the ball.
Well, that's on Harbaugh.
Well, yeah, because he didn't bring anybody.
That's on Harbaugh for not.
Being able to Orgy's been around for how long, and they thought he was a quarterback? That dude ain't a quarterback.
But they had a 3-year postseason run where they made the playoffs 3 consecutive years and barely cracked the top 20 in high school recruiting. Well, how? Other than the uncertainty of whether or not Harbaugh was going to be there every year, and what sort of punishment the program was going to face going forward, because obviously they've been under investigation for like the last 3 years. So
Harbaugh left the building and lit the match and went.
He left it.
He's like the cool guys don't look at explosions, and he just walked away from the building as it all went.
He left it in worse shape than he found it.
Oh yeah, 100%. And it took him forever to fix it. So imagine what the next guy's going to have to do. It took Harbaugh.
It took him cheating to fix
basically, it took him cheating and a decade to fix it. So the next guy, and we all know that it ain't easy to work with that school. Like the coaches that go there, they just don't walk in and be able to do what Harbaugh did. Like Harbaugh was a special case where he got to like basically be the whole damn program. Oh, he was bigger than the president and everybody.
He got a lot more.
Whereas no other coach in this country,
no one else will get
that. They'll get the Rich Rod treatment or the Hulk, where he's our guy, but technically we will fucking throw him out if we need to. Harbaugh, they were never thrown out. His ass could have literally went up and kicked Santana in the nuts and still had a job. Harbaugh could have done whatever he wanted. And again, he walked away with a natty, and I think as Spartans, we would both say, fuck it, we'll get a natty any way we can too, right? Doesn't clear them of all their wrongdoings, but I'll take it any way I can get it too. Because it doesn't take away their memories of kicking everyone's ass.
I would have the rest of college football hate our fan base or hate our program for the next 5 years if we won one title. I mean, that's what Michigan has to cope with, and they can't. Their fan base can't cope with it
because they're special people.
That is what it is.
They're a special breed.
Got to tell them. They have to be told how pretty they are.
They're a special breed of human. But yeah, and then looking back, getting away from them for a second and going back to us.
Yeah,
I think that, like you said, I think the programs are going in two different directions, whereas we're ascending and they're kind of descending. I think we might hit a plateau at some point this year, whereas we keep thinking we're going up, up, up. We kind of plateaued a little bit, and then we won this weekend, which I don't think a lot of people thought we would. I didn't think we would win this weekend. I thought we'd lose.
I kind of thought we would win this game all year long.
Now, if we go in and win this game, I think it's 100% we are going like this. If we lose and it's competitive, which for this game, God, competitive could be who knows what.
It could be a field goal kicking contest.
But if we lose and it's not ugly competitive, but it's competitive, whatever, okay. If we get our asses kicked somehow, yikes. All that goodwill from Iowa goes away real quick.
Well, let's go back to the work that this coaching staff obviously did during the bye week to show you just what a professional staff they are compared to what we've been used to around that place.
Hotel hammering eggplants.
Yeah. I mean, all of a sudden, we're running for 212 yards in a game.
Super impressive.
Who saw that coming against Iowa?
No, super impressive what they did.
No one saw that coming.
Nobody does that to Iowa.
All of a sudden, our run game has life. I mean, it makes it a lot easier for Aiden Childs to work the play action pass. Just makes his life easier in general. And he also, it looked like, realized, hey, maybe I should use my legs a little bit more.
Well, or the coaching staff realized it and said, hey, run. You can run the ball if you have to.
But it was impressive. I mean, all of a sudden, our running backs are making decisive cuts. There's holes for them to run through. Like I said, and the defense has been decent all year long, decent to good, dare I say. I mean, what were we going to do against Oregon and Ohio State? We're outmanned at this point.
And those were expected losses. Those were expected losses for every single team in the Big Ten.
We are outmanned. We are clearly outclassed and outmanned at almost every position. So, I mean, against Ohio State, we moved the ball in the first half. Three red zone turnovers, killed us. But
we moved it against Oregon.
It is what it is.
It was the turnovers that killed us. Really, in those games, you just can't give the ball away.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that Childs did well this weekend was there was no stacked. Well, there was no stacked turnovers where you turn it over and you turn it over. He got away with one
because
he's not afraid to throw the ball down the field, which is fine, and I can live with it. The thing our red zone issues we need to figure out. That's the one thing we do need to figure out. We can't be kicking field goals all the time. And I get it, Iowa's defense is good, but
Agreed.
Throw the ball up. He's willing to throw the ball up all over the field. Throw it up in the end zone. I can live with a turnover if you throw it up in the end zone and it's picked off, especially at this stage where we're building something. This isn't like we're 7-0 and he's chucking it up in the end zone and we get picked and we lose and we're looking at our not making a playoff or something. We're not doing anything special this year. So let's build. Let him throw it up. Let him build that confidence. If he gets touchdown passes, yay. If he gets picked, oh well, he's getting picked all over the place anyway, so let's get some end zone shots. That's the one thing that disappoints me with the offense is when they get in the red zone, they aren't taking shots. I know you get the points. Don't turn it over. We need the points.
Every drive ends in a kick, man.
I just want to see the touchdown play.
I know you want to see the touchdown plays, and we're getting there. I agree. There's nothing wrong with when you get like they did in the fourth quarter of the game when he checked into that swing pass out to Nick Marsh and said, "Go try and run and score a touchdown." He nearly did. So, but there's also nothing wrong with throwing a jump ball to Nick Marsh either.
That's my thing.
So
if he can cut down on the turnovers.
He will
long term.
He will.
I think he's got so much upside. I think he can be one of the most talented quarterbacks that this program's seen in, if not ever, a long time.
Ever. He's got the talent. He's got more talent than anybody that's come through.
It's all about not making mistakes. And that's the thing. He can't.
You just.
Well, no, I said throw it up when we're in the red zone, not on the 50, or not like. Okay. I want to look for the touchdown play, but I don't want him to just be back there willy-nilly throwing the ball like straight into the gut of the other team. Like, those are the type of things. Like the one against Ohio State was brutal. Well, a couple of them, but the one where he just fucking rolled out and chucked it right. There wasn't a Spartan anywhere near it. It was just fucking. It was like the Ohio State guy was like, "Holy shit, I have the fucking ball." He just fucking was. I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like that type of stuff, you can't do it. You can't be famous Jameis. You just can't. Other than that, like, yeah, the offensive line looked good, and like you said, they used it well. Everything, the receivers get open. They're open all the time. It's like they're always it's like they're open.
That's why I said with this staff, the schemes are there, offense and defense.
So like,
I mean,
there's a lot to love
for the most part.
There's a lot to say. Okay, there's stuff here. Like, it's not. We didn't hire a guy who doesn't know what he's doing. Who we're going to be like, oh my God, he's not Sharon Moore. Like, he knows what he's doing. He's got a plan in place. He knows who his quarterback's going to be. He knows, like, what he wants to do with the program. Whereas with Michigan and Sharon, I don't think he has a fucking clue what he wants to do. And I think he was just hoping that all the guys that they had on the roster were just going to be as good as the ones they had before, and they're not. Like, the offensive line that they have is not as good. So, like, that's the two things that, like you said, the programs are going in two different directions. I think we have someone who knows what he wants to do, and they don't have that. Just one man's opinion.
Just back to Childs for a second. One thing we also have to realize is, I know it gets beaten to death. He's 19 years old. He has not played a lot of football. His senior year, I think he was hurt senior year.
Twice.
Missed most of his senior year in high school. So I don't think he's played a ton of game rep football. So he's kind of learning on the fly. Hopefully, like you said, some of the midfield turnovers and whatnot go away. Hopefully he's more cognizant of protecting the ball when he's a runner. I know he did get his head ripped off on that fumble against Ohio State, so I cut him some slack on that one. Yeah. But Oregon, you're in the red zone there.
You're trying to do too much.
Protect it.
You don't need to do. You can't win the game on every play, and I think a lot of that comes with just being young. He'll learn and he'll get over that stuff. And it helps to have a running game. It helps that they can run the ball this past weekend. Like, when you can run the ball like that, yeah, it really helps the quarterback to not have to force anything and not have to go out of his way to make plays.
Then you can make those ridiculously exaggerated fakes in the play action game. That is some. You're gonna careful. You're gonna hurt yourself again. I know it's. But that's the way they hand it off too. So
it's like he doesn't want to touch him.
Teaches. I don't know. Yeah.
Take it.
Like a COVID thing.
Take it.
COVID thing.
Yeah, like
remain 6 feet apart.
The defense has been good, better than expected. The offensive line looked bad early, but again, coming out into this week, they looked really good. They could run the ball. Not being able to run the ball.
I like that they're playing young kids on the line. I like that Stanton Ramil is playing left tackle, redshirt freshman. Lot to grow, lot of growing going on there. Like I said, overall, it's about what I expected so far this year. It's about what I expected them to be at this point in the season. I expect them to be about 4-3 right now.
Yeah, I just think
kind of expected them to win. Kind of expected them to win the first 4 games and lose the next 4. So, but no, I think they got an excellent shot this weekend. I really do. I don't Nobody on Michigan. I mean, Michigan's fans are gonna kill me, skewer me on this, but nobody on that offense scares me.
Well, they don't have any weapons
other than Loveland. Loveland's.
Well, yeah.
Other than Cal Haladay,
they can't stretch the field, and that's I think that's a big problem for them is they can't stretch the field. So they face all these.
They have no receivers.
Well, and again, that's on Harbaugh because of the way he plays football. He wants to play it in a phone booth. And what kind of wide receiver wants to come to Michigan and catch 2 balls a week for 19 yards? Like, nobody.
We'll go to Oregon. Or Alabama,
where you can catch
or Ohio State.
16 balls for 180 yards. Like, nobody.
Or Michigan State. Nick Marsh came to Michigan State. I mean, Michigan State puts receivers in the league, too.
Anybody can. It's just Michigan doesn't play that style of football. And if you're a 5-star recruit, top receiver, why would you want to go there? To what? Block? Cool. I can go and block. Everyone's going to be like, well, Roman Wilson, okay. And what did he do? He'd go out there, run around, and catch one deep ball if JJ didn't miss him.
Well, let's be real. Michigan had one of the best running games in the last 10 years over the last 2 years.
But you're not catching the abundance of balls like if you were at Arizona or somewhere else where you can catch 1 million balls.
Oos.
Yeah, with Oos throwing you balls all the time. Throwing balls in the balls.
So what do you think Sharon's going to do for the quarterback this weekend?
I think it's going to be multiple quarterbacks. I don't think it's going to be one quarterback. Who starts? I think it'll probably be Tuttle. I think they'll roll Tuttle out there again and give him another chance. And I think Orji will come in and play a role.
But you run Orji
where they run him.
You run Orji, yeah, but that just gives it away. And
I get that, but I think they'll have something set up.
Guess the right.
They're going to have something set up though where he throws it.
Okay.
I know. I get it. We're laughing, but I think in Sharon, I'm trying to put myself in Sharon's mind, which I think he's gonna. I think all 3 might play. Who knows? They might play all of them. They might go series, and see who's hot and play that one because they literally are so putrid at that position, like so bad. They're not even functionable. It's high school level bad. Like they'd be better off learning the triple option last week and just fucking going out and starting to play like they were Army.
This fucking guy in the triple option. I knew we weren't getting through this without that coming up.
But for real, like they literally want to do it anyways. They just want to pound the ball. They might as well cut block everybody. Like
that's who I think it's going to be, Orji more than anybody, because I think Orji gives them less of a chance to turn the ball over.
Yeah, but
because he's just not going to throw it, and when he does, he's going to throw it.
We saw what happens with
900 miles an hour.
They don't move the ball. They're just going to be punting.
Yeah.
If they do get a first down, they won't get a second first down. They're just going to punt. It's just going to be punt and hope that Childs turns it over is pretty much all they'll have. If they do the Orji thing where they don't play anybody else, it's just going to be punt, pin Michigan State deep, hope we turn the ball over and they can get easy points. Because if we just punt it back to them and they're starting in their own 20 or 25, they're not driving the field with Orji. That's not happening unless he busts one, which I haven't seen him be able to do. No, like he's not this everyone's like, Orji can run. I don't see any electricity when he's running the ball. He kind of just gets to the outside. No, he's more athletic and quicker than some people, but he's not outrunning everybody. He's not like Lamar where he gets outside and he's fucking gone.
Or even Captain Arm Punt.
Yeah, like Denard. You get outside and you were like, shit, he's fucking housing this ball right now. Whereas Orji, he just kind of lumbers to the outside. It's like watching Daniel Jones run the ball. Lumber, get pushed out of bounds after a 5-yard gain. It's like, okay, cool. You can do that. They can do that all day. I hope they go Orji because it'll be hilarious. They'll punt, and if Childs doesn't turn it over, we'll score, and it'll just keep going that way. I honestly think they're going to play all of them. I just think that that's their only chance at winning the game is if they switch it up. And we have to defensively adjust to whoever's in the game every single time. And that's where you can get confusion and somebody doesn't know they run Orji on, or they have Orji and Tuttle on, and it's like, okay, well, what's going on? Like,
is there really any confusion though? I mean,
Well, if they play if they have Orji out there and Tuttle's out there at the same time, and then they swap it out, I mean, they could create chaos if they wanted to, if they had an intelligent enough staff to do it, where they can do it. Again, do they have anybody that can take the top off the defense?
No.
And can the quarterback make that throw?
Name three wide receivers from Michigan.
Loveland is the only guy. I don't even know who else do they even have on that team. Morgan,
Samaj Morgan.
Isn't he hurt? Is he hurt?
Ronnie Bell's brother
Morgan playing?
No, he's there. No, he's playing. They just don't use him. They don't throw it other than screen passes and shit.
So if you're a top receiver, you want to go there. You're saying Morgan's their best guy, right? 17 receptions for 106 yards in 7 games.
Yeah, who's the other guy? Like Amarian Walker or something like that. I think he might have a couple of catches. Number 1.
Morgan's their highest, though. That's their highest receiver has 106 yards in 7 games.
Ronnie Bell's. I don't know his first name. Ronnie Bell's. I know him as Ronnie Bell's brother, number 12.
Kendrick. But I'm looking at this and I'm laughing because I'm looking at these numbers. 106 yards is your leading wide receiver for the season. That's not a game. That's the season. They have 106 yards.
They played 7 games.
7 games. 106 yards for your best wide receiver. Loveland has 344, but that's I don't count him as the receiver.
Yeah,
I'm talking about guys who can go down the field and catch the ball. Loveland can go 15 yards and catch the ball. Most of his are 7 yards and out, and they throw him the ball, and he gets a first down. That's his play.
The other tight end, I think he got hurt. That Klein kid.
Yeah, he's their third leading receiver at 80 yards in 7 games. It's comical.
Nick Marsh almost had that in the Maryland game.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4. What Marsh have 5? We have 5 guys with more yards than their leading receiver. It's comical how bad their offense is. It's not even and they can't even get mad and be like, Sparty, how dare you trash us? No, you're ass. Literal ass. Your offense is so bad that Army laughs at how bad you throw the ball. Literally, I'm going to... Hold on. I'm fucking pulling up Army's receiving stats. I guarantee you they have a guy with more...
Army...
I know Navy does.
20 yards a pop.
I know Navy does. For sure, Navy has a guy who has more than 106 yards receiving. And, they throw the ball to the running back a lot. Oh, so close. Okay. 95 yards is their leading receiver, but he's only got 3 receptions. Morgan has 17 and he's only got 106. Dude's got 3, he's got 95.
Well, it's good. It's because it's all Daniel Jones passes behind the line of scrimmage.
It's comically bad. They are so shitty.
It is.
So bad.
It is.
So bad. And they're... Oh, my God. But Tuttle was the good, remember? Last week, Tuttle's going to be the guy. He was just hurt.
If he would have been healthy.
He was just hurt.
He would have been healthy.
He's going to be the... Tuttle is good.
He was the guy.
Tuttle was good, all right.
Good enough to be a backup at Indiana.
So fucking bad. So bad. Oh my God. I'm just looking at these numbers. It's insane. Without Loveland, they would have 0 yards receiving.
Other than, Khalil Mullings, who does run extremely hard, I'll give him that credit as a converted linebacker. But if we just bottled up Caleb Johnson for the 90% of that game against Iowa, I'm pretty sure we can bottle up Mullings.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about them scoring at all. At all.
They got a good kicker.
Yeah. So can they even get in range to kick the ball? I'm not joking when I say that. They are so fucking bad that it literally takes them a busted play or a pick 6 for them to get fucking points.
Or a penalty.
Or penalties, yeah. Honestly,
penalties,
that might be
against us. You never know.
That might be their best bet. Just chuck the ball and hope that we give them PIs. Look at these fucking numbers. Unbelievable.
Not great, Bob.
Orji's passing numbers are so funny. He does have 3 passing TDs though. Wow.
Yeah,
so bad.
Those were all like inside the 10, I think, on like rollouts where they do that play where somebody drags in front of him.
So bad. This is.
But you put an end in conflict as to whether or not they try to stop Orji on the rollout or cover the guy, and I think that's how his touchdowns are
combined. Their quarterbacks don't even have 1,000 yards passing. Combined, all 3 guys don't even have 900 yards passing in 7 games. That's fucking wild. Our backup quarterback has more passing yards than fucking Orji. It's so bad. Like, I'm literally just looking at this laughing. It's so funny. This is so funny. Like, I'm sorry, this is getting boring for anybody who was fucking ever going to listen to it. But my God, Michigan, your offense is fucking ass.
Oh, it's putrid.
Wow, it's so bad. I knew it was bad. I just never actually deep dived into these numbers. I'm just like, oh my God, it's so fucking bad. And they thought Orji was good, the guy. Orji's the guy. The guy at what?
He's better than Childs.
Orji's a fucking... Can he catch the ball? Because maybe he could be a tight end. I don't know. Fuck.
I don't know. Does he like contact? Maybe he can play safety.
6'3", 235 would be a pretty big safety, but...
Well, maybe he can be a linebacker. Or a running back. They made Hassan Haskins. They make Haskins and Mullings and all those guys running back.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It's funny, and I like it. We can't lose to them now, though. After me talking like this, we can't lose to them. So please, Spartans, Childs, don't turn it over. Just fucking don't lose to them, because it's comical how bad they are, and I want Christmas dinner to be enjoyable this year. So let's just beat them, and then I can laugh.
Sounds good to me. I'm down for Paul coming home.
Outside of this, Indiana got some bad news, with the quarterback.
Yeah, I heard the Maple Leaf Missile has a thumb injury.
He's not going to play this week.
Hopefully, he doesn't play in 2 weeks.
Well, he's supposedly back. He's iffy for this week. Apparently, probably not going to play this week, which sucks because I don't want them to lose. Man, I actually enjoy watching them. They are an exciting team to watch.
They are.
I knew they would be good. I knew they'd be good. The offense would be good. I knew the offense would be good. I wasn't expecting their defense to be as good as it is. And I know it's like an entirely different team. Like, that's literally not the Indiana team that played last year or any years before. He literally brought everybody. He just went out and said, all right, he brought everybody from JMU
this weekend
and moved.
Who do they play this weekend?
So
that might be their first real test, though.
It's at home, at least. They don't have to go to Washington.
Yeah. And they don't have
the quarterback.
Rourke.
So if the quarterback doesn't play, but at least it's at home. Washington's not great. I just hope they don't lose because of Michigan, because that sucks.
I do want to see what they do against the big boys, though, when they play.
And I would like them to get there without losses.
OSU.
It sucks.
Be interesting, because I think Nebraska lost steam pretty quick.
Nebraska. Well, I think that comes down to a freshman quarterback who's literally he's a true freshman quarterback. Like, they rolled him out there week 1 and we're like, take the bullets and figure it out, because I think what Rule is doing is literally aiming towards next year. Get all the playing time he can, and then next year he'll go into the portal and he'll get some guys, and they'll try and
same thing MSU is doing to a degree.
Yeah. Childs is pretty much the same thing. It's just roll them out there every week and take the good with the bad, and hopefully next year we have a little bit more.
Next year, hopefully, maybe we spend some portal money on offensive line, running back.
Go out and get all the group of 5 guys, all American.
I noticed all the North Dakota guys,
all the all Americans,
all the Dakota guys
from all those schools.
I did like that Smith seemed to be working in the true freshman running backs last week too. They got like 2 or 3 carries each. Thought that was nice to see what, at least roll them out there and see what they can do.
Yeah,
for what it's worth.
Again, it goes back to, I think he has a plan. He knows what he wants to do. And he's just going to stick to it, whether we question it as fans or whatnot, like we did earlier in the year where it didn't look great. The BC thing really sucked. Because imagine if we had that win right now. Season would look a lot different.
Well, it would. It sucks, but they also played in a monsoon.
Yeah, it just...
Not making excuses. No. So did Boston College, obviously.
But if you had that one... it would just look so much better right now. But it is what it is. I mean, I'm not disappointed.
5-2 is a whole lot better than 4-3.
A whole lot. It just, everything looks different. But yeah, it is what it is.
But hopefully we go to 5-3 this weekend.
That would be nice. All right. Anything else on this hate week? Just that Michigan is ass.
Done. Hopefully the juices amp up a little bit come Friday night and ready to roll come Saturday night. Go green.
Go white. All right. Let's move on to our favorite team.
Michigan. We just did Michigan State.
We did. I meant the other one.
Our favorite
professional team. If I can get rid of what I'm trying to get rid of. There we go. The Lions are a wagon. They are
your NFC leading Detroit Lions.
Good. They are good at every level of the game. I get it. The pass rush,
the defensive line
needs to be. They need to figure it out. I mean, we all would love to wake up or to go to bed and look at Twitter and see
every time we get a notification,
and see that
an ESPN notification.
Lions gave up 2025, 26, and a second-round pick for Max Crosby or Myles Garrett, and I will go to bed with a giant boner. But they're probably not going to do it. We'll just go and get some guy from the practice squad. We'll figure it out. We'll try and piece it together.
We'll go get Josh Uche from
In Homes We Trust.
The Patriots.
No, let's go for broke. That's the one thing I can't. It sucks because you can't question it because then you feel like an asshole because they're doing so damn well.
What they need is one or both of those guys to demand a trade.
I think if they went to the Browns, which I don't even think they're even trying. I don't even think they're attempting to call the Browns. I don't think that they want to give up the money.
See, now I saw a Bleacher Report article basically saying he might be available because they were naming 4 potential trade destinations for him.
Garrett?
So, yeah.
I think the Browns will give him up because the Browns need picks. The Browns have that Watson thing that's not going away now. And they're in full rebuild. They're done. Like, they're in full rebuild. That team went...
They're both in full rebuild.
Yeah, but the Raiders... But
Antonio Pierce is going to get
Crosby's
fired.
not going to ask for a trade, I don't think. He's not the kind of guy who's going to go in there and be like, get me the fuck out of here. Which needs to happen. And I think if the Lions are calling the Browns and tampering and Garrett finds out, like, I can go there, I think he walks in and says, get me the fuck out of here. Whereas I don't think Crosby's going to do it. I don't think he's going to walk in there and be like, I know the Lions want me and I know they're offering stuff, make it happen. Whereas I think Garrett finds that out. I think he walks in and says, make it happen. And I think the Browns are more willing players because it's NFC, AFC. Whereas it is with the Raiders. Well, it's the Raiders too. But I think the Browns are willing to do it, again, because the player and the contract. And they can get rid of it, get it off the books, get picks, and move on to their next stage, which is total fucking destruction. Because they don't have anything left. They're done. That team went from Super Bowl or bust. Well, like, they were like what the Lions have, like, the Lions and them were in the same trajectory. And then they decided that Baker Mayfield wasn't good enough, doing enough to win. And they just dumped them. And it all fell apart. And then Chubb got hurt. Yeah. And it just tumbled. And now it's done. Cap is totally garbage. Like, they're toast. I think if the Lions just went in and did it, but I don't think they're going to even try. I really don't think Holmes is going to try. I think they look at that contract that Garrett has and they say, no, we're not doing it. Because God forbid we're bad in 2029. Who gives a fuck? Win the Super Bowl. I want one now. I'll take a decade of 2-win seasons if you win a Super Bowl. I want one.
So well constructed.
I don't want to just be good. I don't want to be the Buffalo Bills. I don't want to be just good and never win. That's awful. That's fucking terrible. There is nothing worse. I would rather just be bad and have the draft to look forward to than be just good enough but not great enough. I want to win one. I don't care. Just win a Super Bowl because I don't want to be the Buffalo Bills. I don't want to be like, well, our window is 5 years and every year you lose in the AFC Championship game. It's like, I don't want to go and lose to the 49ers or whoever and not get to the Super Bowl and just not be good enough and not have the players to get us over the top, and we can do it this year. We literally have the best team in the league, I think. On paper and on the field, I think they are the best team in the league. Hutchinson got hurt, and now they're not. I don't think they are anymore because I don't think they can get to the quarterback continuously without blitzing a million times. And a guy like, if you end up getting, say they do stumble into the Super Bowl, Mahomes will rip you apart. Allen will rip you apart. Lamar Jackson will kill us if we can't get to the quarterback. We'll see what Josh Allen
does to us if when they play here.
Well, we'll know it because that's post.
Yeah, we'll see it. We'll see it. We'll see
trade deadline.
We'll see CJ. We'll see CJ Stroud do it. We'll see a lot. We'll see Jordan Love twice. We'll see.
We need to get to the quarterback.
Caleb Williams.
We're not doing it. We're not going to do it. We can't be. We can't be fucking blitzing 60% of the time. That's just not. That's not continuous. You can't do that and think you're going to not get totally just shredded by the best teams in the league, which is going to happen. Like, we got away with it against the Vikings. But it's not going to happen every week.
You have to swing for the fence. You have to swing for the fences based on the fact that the way this roster is constructed right now, you have everyone under contract.
Young. Yes, that's the thing. And that's why I don't understand why people are like, we can't mortgage the future. What future? The future of what?
You have Brian Branch cheap. You have Terrion Arnold cheap. You have Jack Campbell cheap. Laporta cheap.
And yes, you'll have to pay these guys.
And all your
good
cares. And all your you will in 3 years.
Exactly. Or 2 years or whatever.
But right now you don't have to. And right now you don't have to. So you take on a contract. You take on a Garrett. You take on a Crosby if he'll come. You just do because it gives you, guess what? The best offensive line and the best defensive line in the Rams. Game.
The reason we're good is because the Rams did this to win a Super Bowl. You play to win the game. You play to win the games. I don't want to just be good. Well, we can be good continuously.
What do you need?
Yay, we win 10 games and never win the Super Bowl.
I know, Wes, but
fucking irritating.
What are you going to get? Everyone that wants to hold on to those draft picks like it's their hope, their mother's hope chest. What are you going to get at pick 27, 28, 29, 30?
In Holmes,
that's better than Matt Crosby.
That's
fans. Better. What are you going to get that's better?
You're not.
You're not going to get anything better.
You're not going to find a Myles Garrett at number 26. You're not going to find a Myles Garrett with pick number 1.
You're getting depth guys at that point, which right now, yeah, you need depth guys. It's the NFL. Everybody needs depth guys. Injuries happen. Get it. Get all that. But your team is pretty much set. Got the best safeties in the league. Got 2 young cornerbacks that you drafted this year, plus Carlton Davis, plus Amik Robertson. Your linebackers are set. Get Barnes back next year. You get Hutchinson back next year. You got DJ Reader, Aleem McNeil.
Well, they're stacked.
And you put Garrett or Crosby on the other side of Hutchinson. You are the prohibitive Super Bowl favorite.
This year, next year, and the year after. Even without the fucking picks, like I said, you're not getting Max.
And that's not even saying
you're not getting Max Crosby with the first pick. The Lions could have the first pick. They're not getting a Max Crosby. They're not going to find a Max Crosby with the first pick. They're not going to find a Myles Garrett with the first pick. So who gives a shit? Lose the picks. You're not going to find them with 2 first picks. And they're going to, like you said, they're going to be picking 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Like, who cares about the picks? You're picking second round, basically. Like,
They're
the Patriots did it forever. They fucked those picks, man.
And you know what? In Brad we trust and all that shit. Let Brad cook rounds 2 through 7.
Yeah,
that's where he excels, anyways.
Give up 2 firsts.
That's where he'll find your depth guys.
Because all your starters are already locked in place, and they're all young.
They're here.
They're all good, and they're all here. Exactly.
I just rattled off the defense. Didn't even go through the offense. The offense is younger.
It's
just as young. You just paid St. Brown. You just paid Sewell. You just extended Decker.
But it just frustrates me. That's all. I get frustrated with
there's just nobody.
In Holmes we trust shit. I get it. I do trust him. But I'd like to win a Super Bowl.
The Fords got the money.
No, but I'm worried that their thing is we got to be stable and win every year. We got to be a 9 or 10 wins guaranteed.
They know they got to make a move. Gamble's pretty much
this window of winning 12, 13 games is now. And Super Bowls are now. Sure, you can keep your picks, load the team, and be good and 10-win team for the next 4 or 5 years. Big deal if you don't win anything. Like ask any Buffalo Bills fan. They'd trade everything for a Super Bowl win. All these years
what
of
if
being
James
good.
Houston can pick up the slack? He played 11 snaps last game. He played 11 snaps against Minnesota. He's not going to come back to what he was 2 years ago.
They don't have anybody on this roster that's going to fill that, and they can't piecemeal it. They're not going to be able to get that production.
You can't blitz your way out of it.
Because you can't. Well, it's the only way they can do it is to blitz get to the quarterback. Because when Hutchinson's on the field, he's getting those double teams. The other guys are getting to eat. Now that he's gone, you're not getting that. Teams are not going out there afraid of anybody on your defensive line. They're just going to line up and block you. There's no special needs. They don't fucking need to go out of their way to make sure they're stopping Hutch from disrupting the play.
Look, man, I was as critical as anybody of the draft pick of Abe Hutchinson, and I'm here to say I was wrong.
And it sucks what happened to him.
Wrong. Dead wrong. Even getting chipped, even getting double teamed, he's been getting pressure all year long. Trust me, I don't know about you when you watch the game. He's who I watch on that defense. I don't watch anyone but him.
And he's from their school. I couldn't fucking stand the guy. But he's a fucking star, and it sucks what happened to him.
He's a dog.
It sucks what happened to him. It sucks.
It does.
And I'm hoping he comes back and he's the same because, man, he was just so good. And you could tell in the offseason he worked on his craft so hard. Because the difference between last year to this year is like amazing. He's gone like this since he got drafted here. I thought he would be a good player, but I didn't think he was going to be this.
Oh, I'm on record as saying he was.
Like, I know, I was like, I want Thibodeau, and now I'm glad that didn't happen.
I may have said he was a lesser version of Kenny Willekes, but
I think I agreed with you at one point on that too. So, but that was our green and white glasses.
It was Sparty bias. Sparty bias.
But again, I think we all agreed that if he became a star, that was awesome. I think nobody said we wanted him to fail.
Wanted it to work, and it did. It has worked, and he's a superstar and
been amazing.
Hopefully he comes back and he's the same player and he gets the next big contract because he deserves it.
It just sucks what happened to him. That sucks so much.
But hey, I mean, I do believe that they're going to make a move. Campbell pretty much
they got to do it
on
soon.
The radio and in pressers has election day.
They're running out of time.
Just better sooner than later because you don't want all of a sudden out of the blue Chicago, Minnesota, or Green Bay to trade for Max Crosby or
if
Garrett
that happens,
or somebody else.
You'll see Lions fans lose their minds. If Max Crosby were to end up on the Bears or so, oh my God.
The Packers.
You'd never live it down.
He goes to Green Bay. Yeah.
Holmes and Campbell, they can say all they want about they want their guys, or they would never live that down. Never. Especially if they don't win a Super Bowl. Man, this team can win a Super Bowl this year.
Well, It won't be this year if they don't address the pass rush.
No, because they're not going to be able to blitz at 50+% a week.
They will. I don't think they'll win the division if they don't. I don't think they'll win the division if they don't address the pass rush.
The Packers look real good. They just don't lose.
They turn it over a lot.
They just don't lose, though. They don't lose. The Vikings, Darnold, I'm just waiting for the clock to strike midnight, and he goes back to what he always has been. But the Packers just don't lose.
Yeah,
they just
I don't know,
Their
man.
defense is fucking good.
For everybody saying how well Jared Goff played against Minnesota, last I saw Darnold's numbers, he was like 20 for 24.
Again, I'm not saying what he's doing isn't fantastic. I'm just waiting for him to go back to being Sam Darnold. He's playing above everything he's ever done. He's never given us a reason to expect this.
Has he ever had Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and Jalen
But again,
Naylor?
He's never given us a reason to think this was coming. Whereas
everybody in the league thought he could play. He just never really got a fair shot anywhere.
I guess. He's not Daniel Jones.
He's got the ability.
He's not running in things.
Ooh.
Daniel Jones. Daniel?
Never heard of her.
It's a bum. Boom. Yep. This guy right over here. Right there. That guy. That guy right there. He is one hell of a quarterback in the XFL.
Okay.
Eventually. All right. I don't know. You got anything else? Anything
no,
substantial?
That about covers it, I think.
I can scream over top of you about it. They're going to beat the Titans.
Really ain't got much else.
Titans is a win.
They are going to go up. They will go beat the Titans.
And that's the thing I fear is they beat the Titans and then they don't make a move before the deadline. And then Jordan Love comes in and shreds us. Or we go there when he shreds us.
Did you hear Campbell on 97.1 today?
No. I heard part of it. I heard the JMO stuff. I only caught it quickly that he can't address. He couldn't address the JMO stuff.
I forgot about that.
I didn't even want to talk about it because
there
really hasn't been a report on it yet. It's just kind of like, he's suspended for 2 games. Okay. I thought the substance thing was like 6 games. So 2 games didn't make a whole lot of sense. But isn't that what Jimmy G got?
I think when it's a supplement or cold medicine or whatever, this Sudafed or something, I don't know what the. Well, we have to wait to hear what it is.
He was on Adderall.
They need to. They know what they can take and what they can't take. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's just another. I don't really care.
It's just another.
It is what it is. And like I did hear what Campbell said, and he was just like, you know what? We got other guys that are just going to make plays. He's like, if he's not there, the other guys are all there to make. He's like Gibbs and Montgomery and St. Brown and everybody else is there to make plays.
We got a quarterback that's fucking
playing like Joe Montana,
completing
playing like Joe Montana.
Passes over 4 games.
Playing like Joe Montana. Like he's literally
Joe Montana wishes he played that well.
He's literally out there fucking and just doesn't. It's so good to watch. It's so fun.
Do you see the 18 touchdowns to 16 incompletions over the last 4 games? The offense has scored 18 touchdowns and he's had 16 incompletions.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. He's the opposite of what Michigan's offense is. He is so good. And so good.
And it's not dink and dunk and it's not check down Charlie because he's going 20 yards down the field.
Oh, Ben Johnson. Like, him coming back. And again, this goes back to the Super Bowl thing. Sorry, I know we were about to end it, but it goes back to that. We're not going to have him forever. Eventually, he's going to go and become Daboll and get fired in 3 years because he's going to take a shitty job just to be a head coach. Eventually, he's going to do it.
He knows that.
I agree. I agree 100%. I think that's why he stayed. But I think eventually
you don't really know what
he's going to go though, because they all want to be a head coach.
I don't think he does.
I hope he doesn't. He's got to. I agree. Like, just stay.
I'm sure
make like $4 million less than what the head coach does, but you're still making $7 million or some shit, and you have it easy. You don't have to worry about the headaches. You literally just show up, game plan, and do work.
To do any press.
Your job is to just do football, not all the other bullshit.
You hardly do any press,
which is great because we have the best head coach for that, where he lets his OC and his DC cook. And he just sits back and does all the shit the head coach is supposed to do. Help the roster, talk to the guys, rah, 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 do all of that, where he's not overbearing and he doesn't let his OC and DC do shit. And then when shit goes awry, everything looks awful. Whereas if Dan Campbell makes a mistake, we have coordinators who can fix it because they just do their job.
Decision to fake, like deciding to fake a punt in the first quarter.
He agreed. It looked awful. It looked awful, but he's not going to not try it again. He's like, there's some things we can work out.
We had the right look. We had the look. We had the look.
Some things we can work out, though, to make it better, he said. I'm sure we're getting another one. We'll have another one this week.
Somebody missed a block, I think they said. Or maybe Reeves Maben should have pitched it.
Ah. All right.
Oh, well. Fun stuff.
All right. Hate week.
Good talk.
Is done.
Hate week.
Lions, best team in football. Address the edge, and we'll win the Super Bowl. It's that simple.
I have thoughts.
And that's serving up the D.